question in my head, and I'm doing a reverse hypothesis of if before you got married to her and you were having this self-reflection to yourself as to this girl is going to challenge me, and I think that you were able to lower your ego to see what is ahead. A lot of men don't know how to do that. A lot of men want a woman who can challenge them, but their ego cannot allow them go forward. In the case where a man who has this type of person at the very beginning before they got married and could not get past the fact that this is my ego raising his head over what this woman can do for my future, what would you advise that type of person?
Maybe not an advice. I think I'm, like I saw, not a piece of advice, like I said. Like I told you, we don't have any principle. But if I reflect, into my own situation, something was very clear. What kind of life do I want? It was very, very clear. I remember in those days, I had this friend, he was in New York and I was in Michigan at that time. And because we were less busy, we didn't have work and phone calls was literally free in the US. So, once you pay subscription, you can call as much as you possible. So then we get on the call. And we had this picture. We always told ourselves that invite any UN Kolosoro. She can represent you. No, she can represent you. So we had this picture of the woman that we wanted in our life. It was not deliberate, but these are the kind of conversations that we had. So that was, I told you that the first time I spoke to her, I knew I was going to marry her because she was quite different from every other person that I had spoken to. So she just kind of fit into that picture. But you've been talking about this picture. Then how this one who the Igbo was even better than me. The Igbo was like, the confidence was there, everything. Like, So first, that picture was very, very clear. The second part of it is, if the picture is clear, then the question I needed to ask myself is that what is going to stop me from getting to that picture? Right? She's, like I said, she's very confident, she's very sure of herself, right? And I didn't have that kind of upbringing. So I realized that, I didn't have the confidence that he has. So she's not annoying, I'm just afraid, like I said. She's not annoying.
I'll remind you, please, I need to take note of it. I'm not annoying.
She's just very sure of herself. Right? So the question is, this is the life that I want. What is between me and the life that I want is the ego. Like I said, you have to just tell yourself that truth. Right? And if you truly want that life, if you truly want it, then you are going to be able to remove that stumbling block. If you don't, there is a paying lip service to the kind of life that you want. Right? And there is really wanting the life that you want. Early into our marriage, when we small thing, I say, hey, baby, look like this love is no longer there again. I say, hey, this is that I'm sleeping. You're not sleeping in the same bed. You're sleeping in the sitting room. And she's looking at me like, sure, okay. Because I wanted that life. I saw that life. I saw that picture. It was very clear. Looking back, I knew it was like a vision, right? But it wasn't like, oh, somebody told me you have to have a vision and stuff like that. But I was very clear, like, okay, this is the kind of family that I want to build. This is the kind of child that we want to have. And what role is a woman going to play in that place? I knew I had the issue of not very being ambitious, which was why the first conversation was, ma stress me. I can't hold the two at a time. So you are ambitious. One thing I can assure you is that I will not stop you. I will not get like, okay, my wife is flying here, my wife is doing this here, and I usually tell her in those days that it's one man that married Okonjo. We don't even know her husband. It's one man that married Obieze Kwezile. We don't know her husband. So what's wrong with me being in the background? There's nothing wrong with me. It's one of the reasons, just a quick digression, why I said she shouldn't change her father's name. She still bears her father's name today. Right? And a lot of she bears her father's name.
Even my brothers can't stand it.
Even our own brothers can't stand it. And
why?
It's pretty much because
an African man.
I don't own you. You built your life before we met. Right? So if you want to change, good. But it's don't do it on my account like, oh, because we are married. What got us married is both of us, Ebun and Sesan, not our father's name. That stopped them from saying you are my wife.
No,
so what are we talking about? So there was that ego that I recognized that this is ego. All right, it comes. Let's not lie to ourselves, right? Like I said, most of the time it's after reflection. So it comes, but it's your ability to recognize that she wasn't wrong, right? Something, your emotion just kicked in, and you don't act on it, and you apologize if you have to. You brave it off if you have to. Also, sometimes just ignore, like, everybody will be fine, right? But depending on the gravity of the matter. No, sometimes let's be. Sometimes you go is there, right? Okay, then we make it up in other ways and stuff like that. Again, that's you also having the right partner who is not insisting that, oh, you have to apologize for what you did. The first time we had an issue, and I said I'm sorry, and she said, you are sorry for what? When I came from blue. Number one.
No, we need to be clear. What exactly are you sorry for?
I'm not sorry just for sorry.
Number one, you did wrong. I came to apologize to you, which was very uncomfortable
for you.
Then you now said, for what?
Yes. Now, what exactly are you sorry for?
So that's just kind of thing. So it's not a piece of advice, but for me, it's just, do you have clear picture in your mind of what you want for your marriage?
Yeah.
On a personal note, leave the woman out of it. Everybody has their own picture. On a personal note, so every day we work towards that picture, right? I work towards that picture. Even when she's going off the track, I bring her back into that picture. My picture. She has her picture, right? And I believe that when I'm also going off the road, she also brings me back into that picture. So it's not like, oh, this is the picture we both. Well, for us, I told you we don't have a principle. So for us, is everybody have their life. We have a marriage. Everything that concerns the marriage, we protect with our lives, right? And we will sacrifice our lives for our marriage, right? But we are not going to sacrifice our marriage
for
our lives.
Yeah.
Got it. I love it. How do you handle disagreements and conflicts in your marriage?
So at the very foundation of this marriage is friendship. A deep-rooted friendship. I won't say we have a particular way of handling it. It depends on the issues, right? If they're not so deep, like he said, sometimes he comes, he apologizes, sometimes I apologize, sometimes I just like, well, be fine. And then the following one, you're like, Shumoko, you are a very, very stupid girl. You know that you are not okay. And that's where it ends. And literally. And the other one is like, you went to Mark Paelungwa. And that's how it ends. But whenever it is, feelings have been hurt and everything, we scream at each other if we need to. I think how many months ago? But we make sure we don't do it in the presence of our daughter. The first time we were even playing, and she thought we were fighting, and she started crying because she had never seen us fight before. So like you said, we do everything to protect our marriage. So we raise our voices at each other if we need to. I went into his workstation. I gave him a large chunk of my mind. Don't you ever. I said, how dare you speak to me like that?
It's the evil for me.
A couple of hours, so again, because we have a friendship, we're able to gauge and understand, when we've pushed each other's limits. We also understand when we need to give each other some space to breathe, because sometimes it's not about addressing it immediately, it happens.
Yeah.
So in the early days of our marriage, we made a rule. I think I saw it in a movie, and I told him, and we adapted it. Never let the sun go down on your anger. So if I get upset in the morning, we mustn't go to bed without resolving it. If we get upset at night, then I think we added our own. The sun must not rise 100%, or whatever it is, resolve all issues within 24 hours. So learning to not bottle things up has also helped. Number 3 is he taught me how to make excuses for people. So sometimes even when he does some things that I don't like, and I feel like, don't you realize I don't like it? And he seems to be living his life. And I'm feeling like, but you should know, because the truth is, it's not every time you want to talk. It's not every day you're like, we keep talking about it, and you keep doing the same thing. So I'm just going to keep quiet. Sometimes I make excuses for him. And then it could be a few months down the line, I realize that, oh my goodness, he didn't even mean it, because we're talking about something else, and the matter just pops up, and in my head I'm like, Ebun, and you judge this man, he actually didn't mean it. And my last approach is, pick your battles. Not everything is worth fighting over. Sometimes, they put soap salt on the walls in the bathroom. They press the toothpaste from the middle. I come home, the house is upside down. I just come home, I'm like, the house is upside down. I add my own mess to the field.
As it should be.
And we all move on. So I've learned to pick my battles, right? Not everything is worth reacting to. Not everything is worth fighting over. Sometimes you want to be the bigger person. Sometimes you want to be the smaller person. But again, we have a foundation of friendship. So it makes it easy for us to resolve, whatever issues. I would not tell you, oh, this is the principle we have and we're keeping to it and we're following it. No.
But
what we know is
fights.
Yes.
Well, what did you say?
That's another thing. We do a lot of Ebun. We do a lot of
I think they
gossip.
said that partners will gossip have healthy
So here's how these things end. There's so much I want to say. There's so much you want to say, but we're too upset with each other. The minute we resolve it, I even had gist for you. But because you were doing it, I couldn't even tell you. Oh yeah, come and sit down. Let me tell you. So there's also the place of, I'm really itching to say this thing to you, but you're fighting with me. Oh yeah, come, let's settle this matter. So I can tell you what it is, and you can hear it as it hot. But yeah, I think that's just it. Again, we're friends. We're committed to making it work. So anything that threatens or puts it in danger, we try to resolve it on time. And then we usually say our home is our happy place and our place of peace. We've gone out all day, you take a lot of shit in the office, you're in Lagos traffic, people are cussing you out and literally being upset with you. Somebody's coming to shove items in your face. God help you, your AC is not working. You've been through so much. I should come home and be able to put my head on your shoulder and just sink in and relax. I should come home and the atmosphere should not be as tense as where I'm coming from. So having that at the back of our minds, we always ensure that I'm not coming home to an angry partner. Yeah. So even when sometimes he's very clingy. I'm sure you've noticed how many times he has come close to me.
I was about to
He can be very clingy. He likes to always have me around. Me, on the other hand, sometimes I just want to leave as if I don't have a husband. Just for 5 hours. Now, you see, those 5 hours, he's already upset. How can you just be coming home at this time? And I'm like, I've been with you at home all week long. So there are days when I come and I'm like, ugh. And then there are days when I'm just like, I know you've missed me. I think in the early days, we used to fight about it a lot. But over time, I just realized that he's just sad because he hasn't had me at home. So now I've learned to, I'm home.
Now you're the bigger person.
Just come and relax.
You know what's so funny?
Just come and relax.
When you was like,
oh God. And then we're also very quick to say sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, very quick. Very quick. Even if we are not the one who upset the other person, just for the man being. Sometimes you tell me, even I don't know what I'm apologizing for. Mabino.
I just want to be close to you.
Yeah, so that's
I think my next question is, did you guys start out as friends? I don't think you guys started out as friends. Did you guys, when you guys met, was it just friendship or you just started
do you want to hear the truth?
I want to hear the absolute truth.
I just wanted to get laid.
You just wanted to get laid. So when you met him, you were like, I just want to get laid. I'm keeping moving.
So when I met him, I think I just come out of a relationship. Where, at some point I realized I couldn't be with this person for the rest of my life. So I literally orchestrated the breakup, right? So when I got out of it, and then, my friend told me about this guy who's been wanting my number and everything. I'm like, Danile, And they were like, he's in America. I said, I don't do love across the ocean. Sorry. If you're not here, can marry Rawa. And having come out of that relationship, again, it had been going south for a while, so there wasn't any level of intimacy or anything.
Got it.
So I was already in who's the next available guy? Let's have fun. I'd already drawn up a bucket list of, very interesting things. Then along comes this guy, and the first day we speak, he goes, I'm going to marry you. And I'm like, guy,
You need to be calm
format, calm down now.
Like, me, I'm even here for a different purpose.
No, at the time, I don't even realized. But then, as first time we spoke, we went on the phone for 2 hours.
Ooh.
And at some point, I had to be like, do you realize how long we've been talking for? And at that point, it was an instant. It wasn't love. It wasn't. I would say it was a connection.
Yeah.
It wasn't romantic in nature, but it was a connection. When you talk to somebody and like, no, this person is my kind of person. So we had so much to talk about, even though we were from totally different backgrounds and upbringing and worlds. We could connect, and I can barely remember some of the things we talked about. In fact, I remember teasing him and insulting him as the last born on that day. Day one. I remember him telling me he's the last one. I'm like, Emambaje. And then from there, we went on another tangent. So we connected from the first day. Now, as time went along, he kept dropping hints of, stop calling me your friend. Sometimes you call when I'm at work because of time difference. And then someone says, who is this person you're talking to? I'm like, he's my friend. I'm like, he will respond, I'm not your friend, though. I don't want to be your friend. I've already told you. And then along the line, I asked him, okay, so, when I started to feel like, okay, I think I'm liking this person. Well, how tall are you? Because I've always been into tall people. And then he goes, he's 5'4". Ha!
How tall are you?
5'7". Apparently it's 5'5", but I like 5'4". Ha!
Where do you want me to begin?
I remember calling my friend, I'm like, he's short. She's like, so? I said,
So?
I will not wear heels on my wedding day. What kind of... And then at that point, I was like, okay, he's short, but he's sweet. He's coming home soon. I just said, but one.
Submission.
Yeah, coming to marry somebody. Somebody wants to have sex and keep it moving.
I remember telling my friend Kafayat. Kafayat was like, Ebun, you're open breast on Skype. I said, let him come home first. And if you
motivated to come home,
if you remember, when he came home, I was just all about, I want you to kiss me, won't you? What we are here for? Because in my mind, I already knew that, okay, I'm going to free this person, yeah. But I like the attention and everything, and the only reason I was going to free him was because he wasn't tall. So I was like, I'm going to free this person, yeah, but that instrument looks interesting.
Oh my God, I love it.
We're gonna. My brothers mustn't see this. It's not me, I didn't say it. I remember the first day we met and everything, and then when I left him, I called my friend Kafaka. I said, how did it go? I said, babe, it wasn't good. It was not good. It was rough. And he said, Mama, come kini. And she was like, hey. I said, I'm going back for more. But then again, he's a very deep person. He has depth. Around that period when he got back, when I was still not sure of what exactly where we were going and what exactly we were doing, there was some family issue that was going on. And if not for him, I'd have done a lot of rash things in that period. So I found myself constantly talking to him, even though it was during my life. He always had a way of grounding me and making me, so he lets me rant and he said, I know wrong now, how can they say that? and then eventually he said, oh yeah, come back home, calm down and breathe. If you go this way, these are the likely consequences. If you do it this way, these are likely. Why don't you go this way? Why don't you do it like this? Why don't you calm down? Why don't you listen? Why don't you not let them...
It's our own ministry.
So, I liked the depth he had. When how do you say it in Yoruba? People who are deep thinkers. My husband is not... I'm somebody who thinks on my feet. Like, something happens, I'm already thinking of... My husband sits down, he thinks, he absorbs the information. He allows it simmer before he then belts it out. So at that early stage, of the relationship, I really appreciated having somebody like that who could ground me. So that's how the friendship grew, and then it then transitioned into love. Because those early days when he first came to, he keeps saying that God practically, made me for him. And I'm like, oh, sure, so makes me Tasha. Because you see, in the early days, it was typical. Ebun would have left. Like I said, I was surrounded by good counsel in every way. I remember we went to Pounds, and the car broke down just at the entrance to Pounds. And I saw some of my colleagues. I couldn't even wave at them because I was sitting in a car that was broken down in the middle of the road.
And I was hungry that I'm taking somebody. We are going out. The car broke down.
He was hustling.
Help you.
Help me.
Come out and help me. I'm not coming and pushing car on the streets of Lagos. For what?
Wait, do you know who she was?
That's the point. I was like,
We're
okay,
trying
we are
to
in
be
this
bougie.
situation.
My managers were trying to introduce me to some fancy boys. I was doing
They
shakara.
will have abandoned you now.
To not make matters worse, and I saw some of my colleagues. I said, no, I will not be pushing car. No.
Do you know who my friend was?
I adjusted my seats all the way to the back.
You want more language.
But again, because we connected on a deeper level, and then over time, I just realized he's a great guy all around, and he's very sweet, and he's still sweet, by the way.
I mean,
And
all
he's
this
very
while,
sweet, so so he was locked in from the start.
you just came for
I grew.
you just came for sex.
I came for the D. They put a baby in me.
No, but you didn't
And
get pregnant.
ring.
You're not pregnant.
And
before.
ring. They put ring and baby. But
Were you
yeah.
pregnant before your wedding?
No.
you were not
Oh, we
pregnant.
waited 2 years.
Before you
Yeah?
got pregnant.
Yeah.
We actually made it deliberate. We had
I
a
love
conversation
it.
around it to say,
Again, talking
we're
about
coming from different worlds. We've never lived together before. Yeah, so let's take time to enjoy living with each other. We literally used to strut around the house naked.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was beautiful, for real. Like we would
So
drive our bed.
So
No,
Inez
it
not
was
allowing that happen anymore.
Why?
How
How?
no?
I feel bad for
Even your own room now. You don't know where she was. You're just going to open the door.
We want to enjoy, our time with each other before we bring in little humans into the marriage. Like he said, plenty conversations, and we kept making iterations on them because we kept changing as individuals. So the fact that we said this 9 years ago or 8 years ago doesn't mean that it's still going to hold now. So now we're evolving. What's new? What's different? What are we doing for ourselves? What are we keeping? What are we changing? And yeah.
I love it so much. What are the core things that are like not negotiables that you're constantly teaching and impacting on her?
I think one of the most important things for us is that we intend to raise, by the grace of God, to raise a wholesome human being. I don't want to be that mom who raised, the very interesting or questionable character in society. I feel like that's one of our contribution to ensure that the one we raise right. Love is the bedrock of our parenting style. Yeah, we say love lives here. We have it in our house on the wall. We literally live by it. So from our interactions with each other, she sees a lot of love. Family is also very important to us. So from our relationship and interaction with our families, she sees a lot of love. And with children, it's not do as you say. It is do as I do.
Yeah.
So if I don't want you to do something, if I want you to do something first, you have to see me do it. And if I don't want you to do something, I can easily reference, but you see me do it. And trust my daughter, but mommy, you do. And the minute I get that you do, I know, I need to make adjustments.
Going back to the fact that she's very confident and sure, she will ask you, but you also do this thing.
So our objective is to raise, a balanced individual as well, which is why we're not overtly religious with her. We want her to be able to see beyond the lens, beyond the lenses of religious sentiments, beyond the lenses of traditional sentiments. So while we, do our best to, guide her right in the way of the Lord, while we do our best to also let her know, these are the right things to do as a Yoruba girl, we allow her question these things. And until she's satisfied and convinced, we give her space to process. We do not say don't do this because it is written. Don't do this because if you do this, this is the consequence. So beyond it is written somewhere, this is the impact on this person, on your neighbor, even on you as yourself. What else do we do with her?
For her, it's just more of, okay, what I remember we once had that conversation, like, so what are our core values in this house that we want her to live by? Because at the end of the day, you know, the child is going to be the child. So we are very conscious of that, right? And like you rightly said, you know, she sees daddy getting a hair drop all the time.
Oh, and then she also comes
and she sees daddy getting a back rub all the time.
And then she lays her back to mommy, my turn.
And she also does the same thing. And talking about the love, you know, the family part, I think one thing that has also come very interesting, I think we had one session in December with our family, with our extended family.
Oh, yes.
And we just figured out that we try to eject everyone who is not living by that love lives
negative
here
vibes. You're out.
There is just you know, this unconscious coalition that just comes like, okay, this person doesn't belong here, right? And you know, somehow we cannot eject the person.
The person ships out.
Yeah. So I think that's very critical. And like she also said, we are raising an independent human being. Like I said, that was the bedrock, or that was one part of me that was missing that I wanted in my wife. So if everybody asks me about, oh, how do you raise? I said, I go along with what mommy says is right. Because besides the fact that I want to play a role to support what both of you do, and the child is so smart that she knows what is daddy's responsibility or what daddy will do well. She will never ask her mom, like, mom, let's go and play downstairs.
Because mommy is not the one that does that.
That's not mommy's call.
Children are very smart.
It's only daddy that has that time. So that one, I know that one doesn't require a lot of intellectual or emotional.
Mommy is study body.
So mommy is study body.
But that is writing body.
So
I see.
So that's just
so she knows where everybody excels.
So you know, when we were coming,
take mathematics to her daddy.
She said she wants to do UC and she said, you know, do I know that mommy is very smart with UC maths? So she's going to wait for mommy to come back. No, I didn't feel bad.
I love it for you.
We just finished writing comprehension.
Okay.
Right. In fact, we started since yesterday. We finished it this morning. Right, so we're done. So I said, are you done with your assignment? Go and put your assignment in the bag. So go and put your books in the bag. Say, there's still one more thing. What is that? Say UC math. I said, okay. Said, but you know that it's mommy that does UC math. Mommy is very smart with UC math. I said, okay, when your mom comes back, you guys do UC math.
and then we speak in one voice, and she knows. Once daddy says no, it can never be yes. If I want to convince him to change it, I won't tell her. I come to him and have that conversation. And if he says for now it's still no, no is no. So she knows that we speak in one voice. Then coming back to love again, in our relationship with our extended families, we ensure that she doesn't see any animosity. For her not to see any animosity, we do not harbor any animosity or any ill feelings towards anybody. Both ways.
Children think those things.
Both ways. So all of that, my daddy's family is the mean family. My daughter doesn't understand what that is.
That's so funny because I'm like, it's so crazy how every person that I've seen or heard, not seen, even on Instagram, they always say, oh, I'm not, my father's family, I'm not close to my, like a lot of Nigerians, I don't know if it's in Nigeria.
There's no such thing in our house.
It's so beautiful.
There's no such thing because even when I tell people that my sisters-in-law treat me like their sister.
Said it.
There was a day I called his eldest sister and she thought I was coming to report something important. I said I want to report. She was so afraid. She's like, you want to report? What's going on? You've never reported your husband. I said he said I am not a family member. I'm not his family member. That he's the last one and I am not the last one. And she just started raking. She said, so how dare you? She's our last born. Or don't you ever say that. That's the kind of love and relationship that we have. and we also ensure that she sees that relationship both ways. So it's not just my aunties and my uncles on my mommy's side. On daddy's side, they're all big mommies because it's the last born. It's my big mommies and my big daddies on daddy's side as well, and my big cousins on daddy's side as well. So she sees that balance. So it's not just, you know, within the immediate family. It's in, you know, how we relate with people and everything. So I think whatever it is we're doing, we ensure that it is rooted in love.